and welcome to this time English news service from KHURSHID Global TV channel. Iran's Navy on Saturday launched a domestically made destroyer, which state media said has rather evading steel properties as tension rise with our enemy, the United States. In a ceremony carried live on state television, the Subh destroyer, which can sustain voyages lasting 5 months without resupply, joined Iran's regular navy at the base in Bandar Abbas on the Gulf. The Subh has a flight deck for helicopters, torpedo launchers, anti-aircraft and anti-ship guns, surface-to-surface and surface-to-air missiles and electronic warfare capabilities, state television reported. U.S. President Donald Trump pulled out of an international agreement on Iran's nuclear program in May and reimposed sanctions on Tehran. He said the deal was flawed because it did not include curbs on Iran's development of ballistic missiles or its support for proxies in Syria, Yemen, Lebanon, and Iraq. Former U.S. President George H.W. Bush, who praised over the end of the Cold War and routed Saddam Hussein's Iraqi army but lost a chance of a second term after breaking a no new taxes pledge, died on Friday at the age of 94. Bush, the 41st president of the United States who lived longer than any of his predecessors and possessed one of the most impressive resumes in American political history, died peacefully at his home in Houston, according to a source close to the family. His death at 10:10 p.m. Central Time was first announced in a brief statement issued by longtime spokesman Jim McGirty, who said funeral arrangements had yet to be scheduled. No further details about the circumstances of his death were immediately available. China said on Saturday it had deployed its naval forces to stop a U.S. warship sailing through disputed waters in the South China Sea. A statement released by the Southern Theater Command said the guided missile cruise USS Chancellor Subh had entered the waters around the Paracel Island on Wednesday without approval of the Chinese government. The Southern Theater Command organized Navy and Air Force to monitor the U.S. vessel and gave warning for its leave, the statement said. The statement called on the U.S. to properly manage its Navy and Air fleet to avoid miscalculations. Michelle Obama's memoir has already sold a staggering 2 million copies just 15 days after it hit shelves. The former First Lady of the United States, 54 dishes on life in the White House growing up in south side of Chicago, and shares her views on Trump in her book Becoming, which is selling at a pace rarely seen for a political memoir. Crown Publishing announced on Friday that combined hardcover, ebook, and audio sales in the US and Canada have topped 2 million. Her book was released on November 13 and has 3.4 million hardcover copies in print. In its first week, it sold 1.4 million copies. That was all from English News Service of KHURSHID Global TV channel. Thank you for watching us. Wish you a good night. Bye.